We're recording. We're using this remote, so it's kind of hard.
Because we're advanced.
We are. So advanced that our child's playing on the floor over there with a clean puppy pad. So, sorry we've been MIA. Life has been cray. We back, and we're gonna make some pizza. So.
Pizza night at the Larberg household.
Yes. Healthier. Fun
date.
It's an activity, and you know exactly what's in your pizza, so that is healthier, like I said before. But it will be delicious, and we're just gonna take you. Is it kind of crooked? Okay. Okay. So.
I keep doing it.
No.
I'm trying to just make it level.
Okay.
Is that level?
All that to say.
I don't think it's level still.
We're gonna make some pizza. Apparently, things are crooked.
Our thing's not that advanced where it tells us if it's level or not.
It's not level. My shirt's really big. And yeah. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the dough.
Look how
Yeast.
tall I am. You can't even see my head.
When I bought this at the store, the guy said, "What is this?" And I said, "Yeast." And he said, "I thought that was an infection."
Nice.
And I said, "No, it makes bread rise." So, yeast. We are going to put 2 cups of warm water into this bowl, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and we're going to let that rise for about 5 minutes until it starts to bubble. You don't want your water to be too hot. Is that? It's not. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so you're going to pour the water in the bowl first.
Why warm water?
Okay, yeah, warm water because we want the yeast to activate and come alive and start growing. You don't want it too hot though because you will kill the yeast.
It's alive.
It is indeed alive. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons. We're gonna do the sugar first.
TBS, tablespoon?
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing?
Pouring.
Why don't I just scoop?
I don't. Dylan wants to scoop, so we're gonna scoop.
That's how you get the best results.
Okay.
How many? 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons. Sugar is what the yeast eats.
This is like steaming. Is that okay?
It's great. That's why it grows. The kid named August Gray is hitting the doorstop right now. He's loving it.
The kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's starting to crawl, so it's.
So he's everywhere.
It's like we have to keep a close eye. Speaking of, he's close to that socket.
August, is that fun? He's not doing anything. Put that second one in there. Awesome.
So yeast eats sugar.
Yes, that's how it grows.
Sounds like ya boy.
Yeast eats sugar?
No, I eat sugar.
Oh, I was like, I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna have to pour this one.
Dang it.
Are you feeling confident?
No.
Okay.
I'm doing this instead of Alexa to prove that literally anybody can do this because Alexa's like good at this stuff and makes it look really easy. But I freak out and spill things.
No, that's good.
That's okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's one.
Yeah, one more.
Oh.
One more.
Yeast kind of smells funny.
It smells like dough.
I don't understand how these pellets are alive.
They're not. They will come alive. Yep. Perfect. Great. So we're gonna let this rise and bubble
do
up.
Do we mix it or do
nope.
we just...
Leave it.
But the sugar's at the bottom.
It's good.
Okay.
So for 5 minutes, we're gonna let this sit, and I'll show you what it looks like after that 5 minutes.
Do we need to cover it?
No. August wanted to make a guest appearance.
Oh, what's up, Augie? Oh.
Before we moved on, so Dylan's gonna go set him down to play, and we will get started on the dough. So the yeast has come to life for 5 minutes, and I just want to show you what it looks like. Okay.
Sorry, our phone's plugged in too, so it doesn't die.
Okay, so you see how it's kind of bubbly? It looks really different than this when you first do it, so you'll be able to tell. That was probably not helpful. Nonetheless, careful.
Sorry.
The next thing we're going to do is add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to this. So we're just gonna pour it straight in here. And I should note that we are doubling this recipe because we're gonna make 2 pizzas. So normally all of this obviously would just be
1 cup of water.
Cut in half, yeah. And then we're gonna mix this gently with a spatula.
This is a spatula.
This is a spatula.
Oh,
This is a silicone spatula.
But this is spatula.
Yeah. they're both spatulas. And then we're going to incorporate 5 cups of flour into this.
Pre-measured by yours truly.
Pre-measured. Actually, let's add the salt first. So I've measured out 2 tablespoons of salt, and we're gonna
look how tiny this is.
We're gonna add that in here, so you can just
dump it.
Yep.
Can I salt bay it?
Sure. Can't.
Salt bay. Just dump it.
Yeah. So we'll add that in, and then we'll add our flour in.
Do I just like dump it all?
A little bit at a
like
time. Yeah.
Yeast.
And because of the yeast fragility, more.
Still more.
Yeah, because of the yeast's fragility, we're gonna lightly mix this with a spatula until it starts to come together, and then we're gonna start doing it by hand.
Oh.
So you're just gonna mix this up.
It looks good.
Until it's well combined. It will start to become a dough relatively quickly. So as you can tell, it's already kind of clumping.
Joey, August, what you doing, bud?
On my spatula, going to the bell.
We need to get him like a dog gate to keep him contained.
I think they make those called baby gates.
Well, yeah, but they can be maybe dual purpose gates.
Okay.
Dog/baby gate.
I'm into it. All right, so this is combined now. Not well combined, but combined. So we're gonna start using our hands. We're gonna add the rest of the flour and combine with our hands. Do you wanna do it or you want me to do it?
Should I wash my hands?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so Dylan's gonna wash his hands. We're gonna add the rest of this flour into this mixture. We're gonna incorporate it with our hands. It's gonna form a ball, like dough does. Then we're gonna dump it out onto the counter, which we're gonna lightly flour so it doesn't stick, and knead it for about 5 minutes. We do this so that we're incorporating air, we're incorporating all the ingredients together, and we want it to form like a dough that's kind of elastic. And yeah, so.
August found the bell again.
It's okay. There's a bell in the background, it's the baby.
Okay,
yeah, so you're just gonna start combining that with your hands.
Just like.
Yep.
I'm gonna take my wedding ring off.
Start from like the bottom. Yep.
Ugh. I feel like Paul Hollywood. Y'all watch what's that show called?
The Great British Baking Challenge.
If you don't, you should watch it.
Yeah, it's so good.
All the ladies love Paul Hollywood, and by that I mean my grandma.
Does Grandy watch it?
I don't know, but she would love Paul Hollywood if she did.
Make sure you're getting all the dough.
This is so gross. How do you keep the bowl from moving? I feel like my hand. I feel like
Okay, more flour.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll just dump the rest of it. Oh, the flour's cold.
The flour is cold?
Well, it was like colder than the rest of the mixture. Since
right, because we use warm water. No, that makes sense.
Ugh. I don't really like this.
Okay, do you want me to take over?
No, I can do it.
So you need to go from the bottom because you see all this standing flour. You don't want any standing flour in the bottom of the bowl. Yeah, and then flip it all the way over. Like, pick it up and turn it over. Yeah? Uh-huh.
August is playing with the box. Gosh. There's a lot of flour. Are we sure it's gonna do things?
Yep.
I feel like a sea creature with like webbed fingers.
So you can like grab the flour and like yeah. So again, this is usually a 2-hand job, but
Can you move it?
yeah. Gotta wash my hands.
Ugh. And like, what are we looking for here? Is a
Is
finished?
to form a well combined dough.
Like, when do I know I'm done?
I'll tell you.
Well, I hope all of you have an Alexa at home that can tell you when you're done with your dough. Hiya!
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, there's a lot down here.
Well, here, yeah, there is.
Do you want to take over?
Sure.
Okay.
Get this off your fingers. I just wash my hands, everyone. That's a really obviously important thing. Okay. So we're just gonna integrate.
Wow, you're like really manhandling it.
Yeah. All this flour. It's okay, babe.
There's, I hate these little.
Dylan's gonna go wash his hands. I'm gonna get this mixed together, and then, like I said earlier, we're gonna dump this out onto the counter. All right, so
Wait, hold on.
it's all come together. It looks like this in the bowl. Well, straight onto the counter. And once your hands are dry, I could use your help. We're gonna sprinkle some flour onto the countertop. Make sure your countertop is clean, obviously. And we're gonna knead this dough. Actually, I might have enough, babe. Flour. Oh, hi, buddy.
He's just hanging.
All right, and then we're just gonna knead this dough until it all comes together. When you knead, you use the heel of your hand and you push and you pull.
All right, I'm ready.
You push. You want to do it?
Yep.
Okay. So you just do this so that we're really incorporating all of this. We are making gluten-y pizza. Okay.
Oh.
So when we're doing this, we are helping the gluten formation, which is what makes our bread bind together, rise, and do all the elastic-like things that we want our pizza dough to do.
I'm ready.
Okay, so Dylan's gonna take over our kneading.
Tag team. How does this process change if it's gluten-free pizza? Do you not need? Because you don't need the.
You would need, it would just be different.
Don't need the.
It would just be different because that we're not obviously activating the gluten.
How's my kneading technique?
You're doing great.
I'm a good kneader.
You are indeed a good kneader.
Do we need more flour on the?
No, it's not sticking. We're doing good.
So, this is a workout. Oh, you didn't even get my
Okay.
throw down.
So the bread is finished kneading. Show them what it looks like. August says it looks great. So it looks like this. Well incorporated. It's smooth. If you pull it apart, it does what it's supposed to. Looks like a heart right now. So now we're going to split this in half.
Oh, isn't there like a?
Window pane technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have enough gluten in this to. So we're gonna split this in half. We're gonna spread it out over 2 baking sheets, and we're gonna bake it for 5 minutes because we don't have a pizza stone. We don't want to risk soggy bottoms. So you're gonna pre-bake. No soggy bottoms unless you're August. We're gonna pre-bake.
Then you always have soggy bottoms.
Pre-bake the pizza crust. While we do that, we'll prepare the ingredients that are going on top of the pizza. Yeah. So
like judo
yep,
chop it in half.
just in half. You can do your pizza in a square, a rectangle, a circle, obviously,
Circle.
whatever you want to do. Obviously, it makes no difference. But oh, I just almost stepped on the baby. It's sometimes easier to cut it if you do it in a rectangle. Yep, perfect. So just spread it out in your desired shape. We'll put this one over here.
This one's mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you doing a circle or rectangle?
I don't know.
Rectangle might be easier.
Okay, I was just gonna kind of see.
So we'll do both of these, and then we'll pop them in the oven. Cook for 5 minutes at 450. So real hot. Okay, so it'll look something like this when you're done. If you do a rectangle or like kind of this rectangle shape. These are homemade, so they're gonna look rustic. You're not gonna have a perfect shape. The only tip I have is to make sure that it's the same width all the way around so that it cooks the same. So we're just gonna pop these in the oven for 5 minutes at 450, like I said earlier. Okay, so we're making a pesto veggie goat cheese pizza and a pepperoni with cheese pizza.
Guess
so-
whose is for who?
Take your pick. Like I said, the pizza's in the oven. So now we're just gonna
I
chop
got
up.
the pizza in the oven. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna chop up these vegetables while those cook so that we can make the pizzas and pop them in the oven quickly because we are hungry. Okay, the timer just went off. We're gonna pull these out of the oven. Whoa. They'll be kind of puffy. Okay, the one step we forgot, which is fine, is if we would have been thinking a little bit clearer, guys, we use this baking sheet literally every day of our life. That's why it looks like that. We would have poked holes in this crust. So we're gonna do that now before we top them, just so that it's less bubbly. While we're at it, we're gonna saute these vegetables to put on top. All right, so the veggies for my pizza are sauteing, so Dylan's gonna do his. First thing he's gonna do is put the pizza sauce on his dough.
Do I just dump it?
Yeah, whatever you wanna do. And you just obviously wanna spread this out evenly. You want it to be the same all the way around, and then you'll spread it out with the back of the spoon.
Mmm.
Wonderful. All right, now that he's got that all spread around, he's gonna spread some Parmesan cheese over the top of it. So this is just a preference thing. We find that pizza tastes better when there's a little bit of a barrier between the sauce that's acidic and the pepperoni. Of course, you don't have to do this, but we find that it tastes pretty good. So
More than that?
yeah, pretty liberal sprinkling all over the pizza. All right, so that's all done. The next thing we're gonna do is put the pepperonis all over the pizza. You can use smaller pepperonis if you feel like that's more appropriate for your liking. Of course, you're gonna cut this anyways, so they're gonna get cut up. The way Dylan's doing it is his favorite way because he likes a lot of pepperoni. Of course, you don't have to have this is your favorite way. You can spread them out appropriately. All right, and now he's gonna just cover it with 2 different cuts of mozzarella cheese. Sometimes you can use provolone or fresh mozzarella. We just find that this blend works out really yum, and yeah, that's why we're doing it. So this is more of like a thick cut or thick grated mozzarella, and then he'll top it with more finely grated mozzarella. And then we'll pop this in the oven for 20 or 25 minutes until the cheese is bubbly and the crust is golden brown. All right, for my pizza, I'm not gonna use red sauce. I'm gonna use some basil pesto. I'm gonna do the same thing, spread it over the top of my pizza using the back of a spoon. I like to leave a crust on my pizza because I love that part. Like you saw, Dylan spread his all the way to the edges. It's totally just a preference thing. So I'm gonna spread this out, leaving a crust. Then I'm gonna get my sauteed veggies. I'm gonna spread them over the top as well. You can use whatever veggies you want. I used onions and a red pepper because I like the color and I like onions, obviously. So you just spread that over the top of your pesto, and then I'm gonna top this with some goat cheese. I really like to top this pizza with like spinach or arugula after I cook it. However, I don't have any right now, so today it's just gonna be this. It'll be just as delicious. I'm very excited. This is one of my favorite dishes ever, and by dishes I mean pizza. So I just like to do it like that, and then just like the pepperoni pizza, this will cook for 20 or 25 minutes in a 450-degree oven. Dinner time. I'm joking. Can't breathe, but August says it's good.
Are you okay? Filming brought to you by Dylan and August on a step stool. August, can you say hi? Who's that boy? Who's that boy? Him shy.